Morning guys, welcome back. Prado 150 out of here. Today is an exciting day. I can't wait. I've been looking forward to this day for a while. Organised with Dan at Dan's Automotive in Mort Street, Toowoomba. Heading down to do the clean on the EGR on the Prado 150. So this is a 2015 model. It's done 206,000 kilometres. So I'm excited, or maybe not excited, to see how dirty it is. Can't forget to get my coffee from Milk and Honey. Man, these guys are good. Hadn't even paid for my coffee and it was ready. Tell you what, eh? So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to start from this end here, okay, and I'm going to undo those, take this bottom hose off, and I'm going to work my way through. And as I come up here, I'll be taking these clips off. Dan said you can't go too wrong putting them back together. There's a clip here, a few clips here. I'm going to get to here, so then I'll take this part off. And I'll take this little hosey off and then I'll work my way back. So all that's going to come off down to the manifold. The EGR part's all in here. That's where we're going to start to see some of the soot and all that. So that'll be interesting to see what that looks like. Well guys, here we are. I'm with Dan again. Yes. He's an awesome bloke, Dan. He's the reason why all my Red Ark's working a treat. And I've got to show Dan my upright fridge a bit later on. So
yeah, I've heard it's flash.
Yeah.
I've already spoke to the wife about another
one.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, we've already got 2 fridges, but another one won't know.
Yeah. So I'm here because I'm going to have a go at cleaning the EGR out myself. Dan's going to be in the background if I yell out for help. So thanks mate, I really appreciate you.
That's alright, I'm giving you the back end of the workshop.
That's right,
today,
yeah,
so.
and all your tools, mate.
Yeah.
I promise I'll put them back where I got them from. So Dan, for the Prado owners out there, give us a basic rundown. Say, you know, what is the EGR, what are we doing, why are we cleaning it, all about it.
It's not just Prado owners, I guess anyone with a common rail diesel, the EGR plays a big part, not only in how the engine runs, but also faults as well. And I think everyone, this has been a big question mark now for many, many years, that EGRs, are they good, are they bad? The answer basically is they do a job. Are they healthy for a diesel engine? In my opinion, no.
Yeah.
No, they're not. So yeah, there's many things that can be done. Obviously, removing EGR systems and that, you know, the whole works is illegal. People have done it, but it's best to leave it on and just basically be aware of how it functions and what needs to be done as part of a regular kind of maintenance schedule with the EGR itself. So, like today, we're going to do a full clean on the upper section of the manifold and the EGR, and just inspect the condition of the rest of the intake as well. But yeah, I guess it's just being aware of EGRs, how they work, and how to basically maintain your engine around them.
So what do they do? What's the purpose
of
having one on
the
car, on the Prado?
Yeah. To simplify it, an EGR stands for exhaust gas recirculation. So it's an exhaust gas recirculation valve. So what essentially it does is a portion, not all, but a portion of your exhaust gas gets taken back through and cycled through the intake manifold, back through the combustion chamber, and it will reburn any unburned fuel in that exhaust gas. Great, but not great, because diesels, as everyone knows, they produce ash, they produce soot. As that is flowing back through your engine, it also mixes with oil vapours coming through from crank ventilation, so on and so forth, and it forms like a paste, a carbon, and that's the killer. Mm-hmm. It clogs things up, it causes blockages in manifolds, and it can cause potential damage to cylinder heads and so on and so forth. So yes, they work, but they are not I say this is my opinion,
Mm.
they are not good for a diesel engine
Yeah.
long term.
Yeah.
Which is why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a 2015 model,
Mm.
October build, so it's the 3 litre.
Yeah.
The last of them, I believe. What
Yeah,
do
the
you,
last the 1KDs, yeah.
what would I be expecting to find once I start taking things apart?
To be honest, the 1KDs aren't as bad as some. Usually with these at around a couple of 100,000 when I pull them apart, they're okay. They're not great, but they're also not completely blocked. You've got a 10 mil hole through the middle of the manifold, and that's all the intake gas has got to basically go through. And that's when you start to get problems. So I'm going to hazard a guess, and I'm going to say this isn't going to be too bad.
Yeah.
There certainly will be carbon built-up around the actual EGR housing itself.
Yeah.
But as far as the rest of the intake manifold goes, I could be wrong, but I'm going to say it's not too bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any particular people's driving? Some people use these cars only to, they're well known as a shopping car.
Yeah.
You don't see outside of the city.
No.
Then you've got other people like myself, probably 50-50. Is there any type of driving that would make it worse or less?
Yeah, so it goes without saying, really. I'm a true believer in vehicles that get driven a lot of long distance, and basically the longer that engine is running continuously, it's actually healthier for it. A lot stop-start is actually what fatigues an engine over time, which is why you see a lot of four-wheel drives that are only maybe 10 years old, but they've got 400,000 on them. But that, again, my professional opinion, that engine is going to be healthier than one that's 20 years old that's got 200,000 on it, just because of the driving technique. And yes, EGRs, I would say, I've had quite a few come through that have been higher kilometre, but they've been mainly long distance stuff, and they've been very, very clean.
Yeah.
Incredibly clean. The vehicles that are used for more city driving, stop-start, with the same kilometres on them, they've been nearly twice as bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, the driving technique and the driving conditions does play a part in it. Yeah.
So another question, just so leading up to me coming to you, because it can be a big job if you.
It can be, yeah.
Is there any advice you can give for any maintenance along the way, leading up to actually when you do the clean that can kind of get you going? Keep it. What I'm trying to say is, before you have to clean, get you a bit further along before you actually have to come in.
Yeah. I mean, obviously today there are actually no problems with your vehicle. We're doing this as a preventative reasonings, right? So what I like to do is every service at least run a fuel system treatment through. A good fuel system treatment. There's a lot on the market that, I'll be honest, are absolute trash. They do nothing, sometimes even more harm than what they do good. The ones that I use are an industrial strength. They are specifically designed to basically rejuvenate components. So running a fuel system treatment through, and more regularly than just every service. On mine I do them every 3 months, but at least every service will help to clear any deposits in there, and just basically prolong that build up. So it's not going to build up so quickly if you've got a cleaner running through the system. There are EGR cleaners as well. We actually put them through the intake and run the engine and actually atomise that through the intake, and that'll break down any carbon that's in there. They work really good. I've got some stuff here today that we're going to use to actually physically, manually clean the oils. But yeah, it's more a case of just regular maintenance. Oils do make a difference as well. Cheaper, poorer quality oils are more ashy, and they will basically create a dirtier exhaust gas, whereas the higher end stuff, it's designed to basically be a more efficient oil. Yeah, so that
would you suggest regular oil changes?
Regular oil changes. I'm saying every customer of mine that owns a turbo diesel, they get them serviced every 10,000.
Okay.
I do mine every 5 because that's what I want to do. It's not necessary, it's not mandatory, but it's just what I recommend. If you do them every 10,000, good quality oils, run a fuel system treatment through, and occasionally every other service do an EGR Clean, as in like just a manual with a spray and atomize it through the intake, just to basically any deposits that are in there get broken down quickly. So there being a build-up, there's minimal amounts.
Yeah. So I won't keep you too much long because I know you've got a line of cars out in front. But I suppose as I'm thinking, when you're talking, I'm kind of thinking, and maybe what people watching might be thinking, there's always that debate on catch cans.
Yeah.
So while we're talking about the EGR, I haven't put a catch can in, and I've got an opinion about that. I think that might be a bit based on you, and other people. But I've decided not to use one. What are your what are your thoughts, Ben?
Catch cans have their place, but I think what the main area is for confusion and also potential unawareness is there are various different styles of catch cans on the market. The older style catch cans that we used to use, and these were mainly on petrol engines and older diesels, were simply an inlet, an outlet, and a can. That is it. There was nothing more to it. A lot of the newer versions specifically designed for turbo diesels actually have a valve with a filter inside of them. Right now, this valve doesn't allow any backflow. It also, a key element in this is these valves are designed so when your diesel does actually come on boost, it's not then going to want to suck and pull stuff back through the can, which it can. I've actually, on a conventional style catch can, it actually can do that.
Yeah, right.
So, and you also want a can that's got a proper drain valve on the bottom of it. It can be drained whenever you like, but usually every service or every 6 months, drain that can.
Yeah.
Right? Nothing should ever return back into the sump.
Yeah.
Which is, some of the older ones used to have a return back into the sump. You do not do that with a turbo diesel.
Yeah.
Because there will actually be moisture that gets in there as well, and you're simply going to put moisture back into the engine oil. So yeah, for me, catch cans are a good thing. They do work, but you have to use the right type.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very important to use the right type of catch can to suit. So you would need, like I was saying, one that has an internal filter and an anti-backflow valve.
So someone like me, I don't have a catch can, so all the moisture in that carbon has been caught obviously through the EGR, but with a catch can, it takes the oil out. So does that have any effect on what's left that's still going through, like a more coarser type of soot?
Well, essentially it's just oil vapor that comes out, and it's crankcase pressure that ends up pushing it into the can. So it is more beneficial to the engine to not have that oil vapor, especially flowing back through your air intake to the turbocharger. You really don't want excess oil vapor going back through into your turbo. These are not a particularly heavy breathing engine. They've got a lot of crankcase pressure, but they're not breathing to the point that they're pushing a lot of vapor through.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. There are other engines that do. They actually move a lot of oil vapor, and that's where it can become potentially risky for the life of your turbo. And also, you don't want it to be really burning oil. It would help. It certainly would help prevent the build up from happening. Yeah.
So after we've cleaned up, we've got it all, we're starting again. Would it be worth me spending the money and putting cash in?
Once we've done this, I would usually what I've recommended to people is to actually have the vehicle tuned to allow that EGR to operate in a safer way. Right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
you can actually, and there's lots of little gimmicky things that people can buy and plates and so on and so forth. But it really isn't necessary to do that. If you want to do it properly, you can actually get it tuned so that the EGR will only open when it is vitally necessary, cruising speeds, so on, which it does to a degree, but it's far more regular than what you can actually allow it. So it still functions as an EGR. It's all done legitimately, completely legally, but the actual operation of the EGR is reduced slightly so that it only opens really when necessary.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I haven't heard about that.
Yeah. I say there's been many little gimmicky things that you can kind of plug in to stop them opening altogether, but it will eventually cause trouble codes, and the ECU won't like it to a degree. And plates, yes, they can help reduce the flow. Blocking them off can work on some vehicles. Some vehicles won't like it at all. But to me, the absolute guaranteed method is to actually tune the vehicle so that EGR opens at a reduced rate, but only when necessary.
Now, is that a specialist?
It is.
Okay. So is that similar to tuning your engine to get more?
Exactly. So you would want to basically do that at the same time.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Really, you can just tune it so that the EGR is set.
But if you're already spending money for someone to be in there with the computer, more.
It kind of makes sense. Yeah.
All right. Well, I know you're busy, and I'm going to have a go at trying to do this.
Yeah.
So
they're fairly straightforward. Like I say, once it's done in stages, it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm intrigued to see what the manifold's going to be like, because I've pulled a lot of 1KDs apart, and I've only ever had about 2 or 3 that have been shocking, like really bad.
Yeah.
All the others have been pretty reasonable if you compared them to certain other turbo diesels. And I'm not going to mention anything specific, but there are some Mitsubishi turbo diesels that, they will just literally strangle themselves. They're just that full of carbon. And it isn't a mix of a lot of crankcase ventilation, a lot of raw vapor, and an overactive EGR. They're just constantly cycling through it.
And while I've got Dan, from my previous videos, Dan has sorted out my 12 volt system and the auxiliary battery. So as you guys already know, I'm running an AGM, it's a 105 amp hour battery just in the front here, by the red arc, and I've got the solar going, and it's running a treat. I don't even have to think about it.
Yeah, you said it's never stopped.
No, and now I've got the upright fridge has been in and working since I installed it, and I've been on an overnight camping trip, and I can't fault it. There's nothing that I can say that is, and I don't even have to think about it.
No, I've had a lot of people through the door, and you're just trying to sell me Red Arc because they're the dearest. I go, well, I'm not. I'm trying to sell you the quality product that I know is going to last you 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
Not 2 or 5.
That's right.
And I've got others. Like I've got other DC chargers that are good.
Yeah.
But for external use and for real rugged kind of purposes, for longevity, the Red Arc is it. It really is. It's a tried and tested thing, and I've tested it myself. I can't remember if I told you, but I actually submerged one in a bucket of water for half an hour on a solar panel, and I had a little, just a small 90 amp hour battery hooked up to a fridge, and I come back half an hour later and it was still going.
Yeah.
It's the Red Arcs are lithium capable again.
So I suppose, like on everybody's minds with lithium, so I've got a perfect spot in the front here. The Red Arcs will light up perfectly. So if I was to go lithium, I probably wouldn't really want to put the lithium battery, even though it's a better place in the back there, only because we've wired everything up here for this, and I assume it would be another rewire job to get the battery down the back, because you've got to have the DC-DC charger with the battery.
So there's there's a lot of speculation on this. So lithiums are great. The downside, and probably the only downside, is the initial setup costs.
Yeah.
Right? They work very, very well.
Yeah.
I've done a few. The beauty of lithiums, and I will just add that you really should never run a lithium anywhere it's subject to heat.
Yeah, okay.
So
which
in
is
the
obviously
engine bay, no, straight away. Nearly every single one that I've set up the lithium has been in the cab of the vehicle somewhere. Now, again, what I was saying, the beauty of them is they come in various different shapes and sizes. Some of them actually have an inbuilt charger, so all you literally have to do is hook an Anderson plug straight into it.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of as simple as it really is.
Yeah, okay.
Now, yeah, so the main thing is they are expensive, but there's a reason for it. The actual runtime on a lithium is far greater. The amount of times you can cycle a lithium, so decharge and recharge, is like 50-fold. It's I think for example, like an AGM is around about probably 100 cycles. A lithium is more like 250, 300. Yeah. Okay. And they're very, very light in comparison.
Yeah.
Incredibly light. So if we were going to do something to yours, I haven't done a 150 series yet, but what I would probably recommend is one of the low profile slim line, and the ones that I've been buying in are 160 amp. They actually do have an inbuilt charger and an alarm as well if it gets too low. It shouldn't, because the charger will take over, but if in case, and it's also a temperature thing as well, it will actually sound an alarm. You can tuck them in nearly anywhere.
I do have a good spot for it behind that upright fridge, because it's created a lot of room in the background.
So what a lot of people may not know is that in the back of a lot of your wagons, Cruisers, Prados, Pajeros, so on and so forth, in the actual trims where your rear seats would usually be, there is a lot of room behind there. And I actually have made up a bracket for one that the lithium can actually sit in between basically your body panel and that interior trim panel.
Yeah.
So it actually sits in the cavity there.
Yeah.
You would never know it was there. It takes up no room. Also, they don't vent as well, so you don't have to worry about gases when they're charging like lead acids will. So a couple of real big pluses really for the lithium.
So what comes to mind is that we spent a bit of time with the Red Arc, and I suppose it would be a no-brainer when that one kind of has seen better days, is to spend the extra money and lithium. So what do you do with the Red Arc then, if we've also invested some money in that?
You can buy a lithium that doesn't have an onboard charger built in. You can just buy just the actual.
And you have to remove that completely on the back.
You want it ideally closer. Yes, it's not 100% mandatory. I mean, we would simply just upgrade the gauge of wiring from here, shoot it down the back. So the way I'm actually going to set up mine is I'm actually going to have a deep cycle in the engine bay and also a lithium in the rear. So I've got two, and the lithium is purely for powering the fridge. That's all it does. So that fridge can run for maybe a week or two.
And this one will be for you.
And that one is for everything else. Yeah. Okay. So you can still leave that there where it is, and simply buy one with a charger or another Red Arc. Put one down the back.
All right, thanks for all that information. Something definitely to
consider,
to think about. Now, I'm just thinking about certain things now. There's certain brands are better than others, obviously. Now, a lot of these lithium batteries too, you said they've got an onboard charger. They also come with their own BMS system, don't they?
They do.
Bluetooth can be
a lot of the good ones will have all of that. Like I say, you literally, all you have to do is run power to it from the alternator and plug it in, and literally away you go. And
are there any issues with Prados and the alternator and the lithium? Is it being a smart?
No, because the charger that's on that lithium is a smart charger.
So
it's already going to basically take whatever input you give it and decipher that into how it wants to charge that battery. So, yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully we've covered a few things that people might have questions about in relation to, well, in this case, the Prado. Mate, I think I better get started. I know you've got a few cars lined up, so Dan's got a bit of work to do. Hopefully I won't have to yell out, help!
Just don't drop the ball.
Okay, alright. I've got a while to get to that.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations.
Well guys, here it is. Dan's left me with some spanners, and he's given me a basic rundown on the best way to tackle this. So I better get stuck into it, right? I didn't take long to get Dan back here again.
So yeah, these are actually a flush cut side cutter. I just slide them underneath, give it a light pinch. If you pinch it too hard, just wiggle it, and it actually presses these little tangs in on the side here, right? And out it comes.
And that'll be the same for that.
Same for that one, yeah. So you just slide it in underneath. Light squeeze, give it a wiggle.
Perfect.
They're nice to use.
All right, thanks for that. You must be getting close to having a look inside, eh?
Stem of the EGR there, so you just kind of pull that. You can see down there?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, like I say, when they're really, really bad, I've even seen some that won't even allow this butterfly to fully open or close. Yeah.
Well, the butterfly, she's not looking too bad, eh?
It's not too bad, I say. It's what I expected. I expected to see a bit there.
Yeah, you can see it a bit too.
Yeah, but so once you've got this off, you'll see a bit more of what it's going to look like in there.
Yeah, cool. Lucky Dad's not paying me by the hour. He might have to dock my pay. I'm a bit slow. But hey, it's all about learning, isn't it? Which I'm learning. A little bit of oil around the place here. I love this kind of stuff. I need to give up my day job and do this full time. That'll be absolutely awesome. So Dan said, don't lose any nuts or bolts in the manifold. I'm not quite there yet, but yeah, definitely don't want to do that. Just to move.
Oh, that one there. Yeah, right. I'll say that the technique is you kind of got to lift the sides of it up a little bit.
So not completely underneath.
So we kind of just got to lift. There's like a little skirt kind of apron that comes up underneath there. See, this is in the way, so it does make it a bit more of a challenge, but
I could just see myself squashing it and then it would finish.
once you get that underneath there, give it a little bit of a wriggle. Right, up they come.
These experts, they make it look so easy.
Right, it did actually, it damages it a little bit, but it's still a usable clip, you know. If you can, like, and ideally you'd want to get a little set of pliers underneath here and squeeze the tank. It's so hard.
I tried that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know if you can see there on the camera, but she's got a bit of carbon there, carbon built up in there. It goes all the way down to the back towards the manifold. So yeah, probably worse out there.
You should be able to get those two off, right? And then there's these ones here as well.
Are they the backward ones?
Right, so so there's those ones there. That one there,
yep.
and then
One on the other side.
there's one on the other side which is accessible enough from here. You can sneak a spanner in kind of upside down and take that one off there. And then obviously you've got this one here too. Right, that one right there. That one's got to come off.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yep. So that one, this side, and there was one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dun 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 dun. Shorty, is that eh? Woo. Look at that. You have a clean?
So yeah, as you can see, the walls of the actual elbow that goes down into the intake has a decent layer on it, but yeah, when they're really bad, literally there can be a hole about the width of my finger through the middle when they're completely choked up.
Yeah, wow. What's the other side looking like? What's that bit? It's going into it, isn't it? Just get
Yeah.
see if we can get some light in there. Yeah, wow. Definitely due for a clean up, eh?
Yeah, well, at this point now is when you want to actually clean it. You don't want it to go and progress past this. Yeah, yeah. So
Awesome. All right. So you get a screwdriver and start caking it out? Is that how you do it?
pretty much, and I'll go and grab you
no
the
worries.
cleaning fluid. And the rags are in that red bin over there.
Yep.
I will fetch you the EGR cleaning tool.
Guys, so I'll just come and show you. So this is it. I've got to pull this apart. Comes in one, well, these two come off, and then the middle part. So I'm going to clean all this out. It's probably a bit hard to see, isn't it? But anyway.
So the EGR cleaning tools are just two old screwdrivers that I couldn't care less about. Right, so,
Awesome. So I'll get these apart first and then start scraping.
Pull it all apart, and
Yep.
instead of chiseling at it, I actually get the flat and physically
around.
scrape it out here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that one there, that's similar, isn't it?
Yeah. So again, just be careful of the actual the little actuator here and the TPS. We don't want to disturb that too much. So yeah, we just get in there, just give it a spray. Like I said, first leave it for 5. Manually scrape it off and get this one really nice and clean. Yeah, so we don't want that fouling up.
So they could probably start soaking while I'm...
Yeah, we pull them apart, yeah.
Sounds good to me. I think got some of this diesel, EGR for Wynns. Dan recommends this is the good stuff, so that's what we're going to use. So do I got to be careful around here, or?
Careful enough, yeah. Just don't score it or anything like that. I usually just kind of chisel it off a little bit with the screwdriver, and it's pretty thick, but you can kind of get in there and give it a good.
So it doesn't matter, you can give it a good scrape, can you?
Yeah. Because all this is at the end of the day is that this is where it actually comes in and out here, the exhaust gas. That actually just moves that rod up and down and basically seals up against this base here. And
you can move that to make sure it's working, can't you?
You can, yeah. But
it needs a bit of meat, doesn't it?
yeah, give it a good spray.
Guys, not finished yet. But as you can see, she's looking pretty clean. So yeah, I'll just keep on going here, and we're going to finish it off with a bit of brake cleaner to clean her up and dry her out. So that out. And the actuator, haven't quite finished yet, but as you can see, all the carbon's all taken out of that, so not looking too bad. So I'm going to get the wipe down and get him nice and shiny, I reckon. You can see that alright. There you go, clean as. Cheers, eh? Well guys, we've cleaned up all the bits and pieces to the EGR. The next step is just to give it a clean with some brake fluid and dry her out. As you can see, she's nice and clean, all the bits to it there. That's all the gunk in there. And yeah, so it's to give it the last little bit of a clean up, all that grease on the outside off, and start putting it back together. So wish me luck. Well guys, it's been a good day actually so far. A few little challenging parts, basically trying to get to the bolts. That was the most challenging part. Just a couple of them were a bit hard to get to. So probably the only thing I have done wrong is I haven't really put things in order because fortunately I've got Dan here, but we've just got this bit of a workspace, so we kind of had to clear it and put the tub on the top. So cross our fingers, hey, when we put it back together. Here I've got an engine over here that I can check to make sure that everything's all put back properly. Well guys, not too much longer to go here. It's just all these fiddly bolts that I've got to get in and do up. So she's looking pretty good there. So guys, I've gone with brand new gaskets. I've just joined this side up. You see the new gasket in there. They're just all done finger tighten up, but I'll give them a crank up. I'm getting ready to put this back on. That'll go back on when the when we put that back on the manifold. So guys, just getting ourselves ready to there we go. Just putting the gasket on. Dan's put some sticky stuff on there, so get my hands off that. There we go. To put the manifold, sorry, put this back on. So yeah, wish me luck. I've had to go to the GoPro because the main camera ran out of battery. I've got to buy a new battery for it. And I need another. So watch carefully here, well, and you'll see the mistake that I make trying to put this back together. Have a look. Let me know in the comments what you think I've done wrong. So I need that gasket to sit on there as well. Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. I spent many minutes trying to fit this, and I had something around the wrong way. Anyway, lesson for people that aren't a mechanic. There you go, lucky Dan's here. So I was wondering why this wouldn't fit in, but she's in. So just a matter of putting some bolts in, and putting this back in, and putting everything back together. It goes over the top of it. Oh, look at that, bit of gunk, eh? So there she is there. Looking all nice and clean. Just zoom in a bit and show you. So might just see if I can get a bit of light in there. Da, 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 da. Looks pretty new, doesn't it? Brand new. Whoops, hey. Put the bolts in. Three bolts in without losing them. honestly guys, a bit of frustration at the moment. So when I'm putting that EGR valve back on, I've done it twice now. You'd think I'd learn my lesson, but I've tightened up the 3 bolts, okay, and I had to undo them to get the other ones in so you can move it around. I've done it again, tightened them all up, and I've just got 2 more to go. I forgot about them, and I've tightened everything up, so now I've got to loosen them all to give them a bit of movement to get them in. One little bolt, it's about 10 mils and it hasn't defeated me, but time's running out, so might have to call upon Dan to give me a bit of a hand just to nip it up. So we're getting there, almost there. Once that's one little bolt, and then I'll re-tighten all the other ones up that I should have kept loose in the first place. Remember those ones? So they're going to be tightened up, and then we're going to put this on. So that's pretty much home and hose then. This goes on, and then just putting everything all back together, all the vacuum hoses and all that kind of stuff. So almost job done. Man, it's been a big day, I tell you. Yeah, it's a big day. Yeah, don't know if I want to do this, do an EGR clean too often. So, but anyway, I have learned a stack load, and Dan, you've been awesome, mate. Thank you very much for taking the time in between all the work that you have got to do in being called over quite often to just, you know, make sure I'm doing the right thing, do this, do that, not stripping bolts, any of that kind of stuff. So I've had a ball. I've actually had a ball today. It's been great, and I mean, look at this. This is awesome. I like turning up things real tight so you can't move anything. It's been a big day. It's been massive.
So 2 of the same will go in here.
Yep.
Right, and then there'll be that short one will be for that harness right at the back. Remember how you put there's the plastic casing on the harness? Right?
Is that easy to get to now?
I'll do it.
Okay, so I'm just going to undo this too. Now there's a gap there, is that right, you reckon?
There is a gap. Where's the gap?
Oh, from there to there, just that bit.
Yeah, that should be. The hose is still on there. Yeah, the hose is there. That's
right, yeah, so that's all good, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
What do you reckon, Dan? We getting there?
We're getting there, yeah.
So, mate, how have I done so far?
We haven't turned the key yet.
I've had to call you over a couple of times, but I try to.
Even jobs I do myself, I never do the victory dance until I turn that.
So you're saying it's too early, mate?
Yeah. Like they say,
Come on, yeah.
it ain't all over to the fat lady
Yeah,
sings.
that's it, mate. Oh, how's that?
Really good. I
So-
like done that. I've connected up those 6 connectors on the side there.
Just do this one.
Make sure everything is where it wants to be.
Mate, what do you reckon?
I think you did a good job. For your first attempt,
Yep.
you got it very clean, which
Yep.
is good.
Yep.
And yeah,
So would you hire me, mate, as a startup apprentice?
when you can get it down to an hour and a half,
Yeah. Is that the book?
that's the usual hour and a half.
Yeah, no. And that's only one car,
Yeah.
one time car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no,
A few obstacles, but
yeah, you tackled it well. You got it nice and clean. It's all back together.
can't start.
It starts. There's no engine lights or anything on, so that's what we ask for.
Well, mate, I've had a pretty good day actually, an awesome day,
Yeah.
and learned a lot,
Yeah.
how to tackle a few little problems as well without giving up.
Yeah, that's
So I was just a bit wary of the time, so I thought I'd better bring you over a couple of times. So.
Oh, that's all right. Not too bad. You know, all right.
No, mate, I really appreciate your time on that one. It's been great. It's been good for me anyway, learning how to do it. And,
Yeah.
good for the Prado, I'm sure it'll be thankful as well.
Yeah, I say you saw what came out of it. Like, it could have been a lot worse, but as it was what I expected it to be, that's the usual case. A bit of a film on the actual manifold itself, and then the harder stuff a bit more towards the EGR.
Now, this is for Mrs. Prado because you've told me, okay, you've recommended this.
Yeah.
So we were having a chat about, what to do with the EGR, right?
Yeah.
And we were having a bit of a chat about remapping or changing the computer settings. Now you mentioned for this car getting a bigger exhaust.
Yeah, it's not the size of it as such, it's the flow.
Yeah.
Right, so, but I'm going to contradict what I said there a bit. So, the size of the actual dump pipe, so where that exhaust gas exits the exhaust housing,
Yeah.
you want that to be as large as you can possibly get away with.
Okay.
That's the crucial part. The bigger the dump pipe, the quicker the exhaust gas is going to escape, the less heat is going to remain in that housing of the turbo,
Yep.
and it's going to spool up quicker.
Yeah.
Simple as that. All of those three things equal extra power or help towards getting extra power.
Yep.
It's not all about the noise.
Yeah. No.
It's about efficiency.
Don't want the authorities chasing after you.
No, so a big dump pipe as big as you can possibly get away with.
Yep.
And you can reduce it smaller and muffle it, whatever you want to do away from there. But you want a nice dump pipe and probably a good 350 mil long in that same diameter piping as well. You don't want to just have a little section and then, in some vehicles it's hard to get a dump pipe of that size in.
Yep.
You just do the best you can.
Yeah, okay. So I think when we talked about it, just for the guys out there, particularly the ones that have Prados,
Yeah.
because I was always worried about doing anything to the computer and making things, you know, a bit, what do you call it, a bit, running a bit more high end.
Yeah,
Is that what
yeah.
how you say?
So
Because worried about braking stuff.
you're
What do
afraid
say?
of pushing it
Yes.
beyond its means.
So if you put a remap in there or a tune,
Yeah.
that's what I was worried about because I'm not planning on getting rid of it anytime soon. But you said you can do a couple of things with that. You can do something with the EGR and also give it a bit more torque.
Yeah. So, like I was
You
saying,
probably explain it better than me.
yeah, like I was saying to you earlier, factory tunes are not, in most cases, not a good tune. They are a tune that is put into that vehicle for worst case scenarios. Like I was saying, very poor fuel or not great quality in fuel, harsh conditions, fluctuating temperatures, and they're sold worldwide.
Yeah.
That they do a tune that averages out amongst those conditions. A custom tune is specific to your vehicle and the conditions you drive it in.
Yeah.
So like I was saying, you can get the tune to reduce the activity of the EGR valve. You can do all kinds of things like bring up the fuel pressure, adjust the dwell on the injectors, so how long the injectors stay open for, how much pressure is actually at the nozzle of those injectors when they open as well. It's crucial. Getting high pressure in the shortest time possible creates power, gives you better combustion.
And just to reiterate, so it won't damage the car with the motor, nothing.
I'm not going to say it won't because I'll be honest, there are some tuners out there that throw in some grab some software, throw
You go to a reputable person.
If you go to a reputable person, they know what they're doing. It's going to be the exact opposite. It's actually going to make your engine run better and be healthier because of it. And a lot of people are scared of, is it going to be a lot worse on fuel? Is it going to be noisy? Am I going to have maintenance issues? So on and so forth. The answer to that is, again, if you go to a reputable person, no.
Yeah.
It's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
The tune is done specifically to your vehicle. Not only do you get more power and more torque, they're more fuel efficient because they are running to their optimal potential.
Yeah.
Right? And they will last longer because the tune is specific. It's not guessed or averaged. It is specific. It's calculated. It's exactly how it wants to be with the either the bolt-on accessories, modifications, the climate, whatever you want to, whatever you want to go with there.
So what you're saying, and anyone else has got a Prado out there. So what you're saying is that if I put a bigger exhaust, like a 3, particularly at the front there, and got a tune, that would be a very good thing. I've noticed a big difference in the Prado.
The good thing with the Prados with the 150 series is that you already do have a front and intercooler, which is a bonus. That's good. We always try to move intercoolers towards the front of the vehicle. Top mounts are great for basically a compact, concise setup, but when there's not a lot of airflow, they just act as a big heat sink. So you've got a front mount intercooler. Yes, it would be nice to upgrade that, but it's not a necessity. But the exhaust system is restricted. And I say you want as big as you can get straight off the back of the turbo. And there is honestly no point whatsoever in putting an exhaust system on if it doesn't start at the turbo.
Right.
Because that's where it bottlenecks right there. A lot of people do just simple cut the muffler out or add a section on behind where it actually comes down from the dump pipe. It's just going to make noise. It might do a little bit, but it's where the dump pipe is. That's the crucial.
And I'm guilty there because I've taken out the muffler at the back. While it sounds okay,
it probably makes it a little more responsive. You might get a couple of extra horsepower in there, but a full exhaust system is far more beneficial.
Well, Dan, mate, I don't know what to say. You've been awesome, okay?
That's good to hear.
No, you have, and you've been a busy man. You tell me that you're busy, but I've seen it today.
But today actually wasn't too bad. It's sometimes far worse.
So he's got me here, Mr. Novice, that half knows what he's doing, but probably wouldn't even say half. And then he's got people coming to the door to have a chat to you. And then you got cars waiting outside that you're doing some work on. You managed to get one out the door today, didn't you?
I got 3 out actually, so it's...
Well, and with me going to him, you know, hey mate, hey Dan, can't get this bolt undone. I'm scared of rounding it off. Anyway, but so I've had an awesome day, so I really appreciate you doing that for me, mate. And now Dan has said to keep it simple. You guys, wherever you are, Dan said if you want to come up, got any questions for him, want to come up, do something to your car, have it serviced, get some advice, whatever. He said mention my channel, Prado 150 out here.
Yeah.
And he's going to look after. He looks after everyone anyway, but he'll look after you.
Yeah, specifically if you mention Michael's name,
Yeah.
Prado 150 out here, I will certainly do all I can to do the best I can, basically.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And you're seeing some of the other videos. Dan is a wealth of knowledge. He knows a lot about a lot of different things, especially seeing him come with aircon, auto electric, and the mechanical.
Soon to branch into other things, but that's...
Yeah. So I trust this fellow. Everything that he's told me that I've done, I haven't regretted, haven't looked back, including the the electrical system. I've spent the extra money, took your advice, and mate, here I am back again.
Like I say, proof's in the pudding.
That's right.
I've tested these things, I know what works, I know what doesn't.
Yeah. No worries. All right. Well, thanks again, mate.